All right, thank you, Mr. Duarte.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Fayette, and you are?
Peace Alvarez.
Ms. Alvarez, I have quite a number of things here for you. So warrant out Pima County Justice Court for having an invalid license. This goes back to, looks like, sometime in 2021, along with failures to appear. Do you understand when you have a court date, you need to appear? Do you understand that?
Yes.
On this matter, I'm going to release you with the court date of March the 20th at 8:30 in the morning. You're not to drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you need to engage in a substance abuse assessment and treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And I have a number of files here out of Tucson City Court. Current charges for possession of paraphernalia, possession of prescription-only drugs. Charges from November 31st of 2024 for shoplifting, failing to appear in court on November the 13th. Charges from November 11th of 2022 for possession of paraphernalia, failing to appear in court. Looks like on multiple occasions. Charges of theft that goes back to June 15th of 2020. Along with failures to appear. I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Set a $250 bond. Bond is $250. City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. If you post the bond, your court date's March the 24th at 2:30 in the afternoon. If you've not posted the bond, you'll be seen on video on February the 28th at about 1:45. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You're not to go back to 117 East Fort Lowell, 2332 North Oracle, or to any Family Dollar. And if you're out of custody, substance abuse assessment and recommended treatment. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Great, thank you. Or Ms. Alvarez, I'm sorry. Good evening, I'm good Sayed, and you, sir, are?
Trevor Bateman.
Mr. Bateman, I have a number of things here for you. The warrant out of Pima County Justice Court, charges from January the 9th of last year for shoplifting. Looks like you failed to appear in court. We'll appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you on these charges. Bond is $100. Your next court date is tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Pima County Justice Court. You're not to return to the incident location, and no alcohol or illegal drugs. Have current charges for criminal trespass, possession of, and 2 counts of possession of paraphernalia at 208 West Fort Lowell. I have charges from September 19th of 2023 for remaining in the park after hours at Deantha Park, along with failures to appear. Charges for criminal trespass, possession of paraphernalia on May 3rd of 2024, Walmart on Wetmore, along with multiple failures to appear. Charges for possession of paraphernalia on criminal trespass on September 14th of 2024, failing to appear on September 25th of 2024. Charges for criminal trespass, possession of paraphernalia on December the 6th of 2024, failing to December the 6th, failing to appear on December the 19th. This was at 336 East Fort Lowell. And charges from December 22nd of 2024. Possession of paraphernalia, possession of prescription-only drugs, and criminal trespass at 3050 North Oracle. Failing to appear on January the 2nd. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. The bond is $250. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't return to those incident locations, and they're all listed. 6 of them are listed on paperwork. You're out of custody, substance abuse assessment, recommended treatment. Other than the course of treatment, I suggest you discuss these matters with anyone except your attorney. Thank you, Mr. Bateman. I just signed both 2 cases. Oops. Yeah. Give you an extra piece of paper there. Good evening. I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are
Brian Eves. Good evening.
Mr. Eves. Citation charging you with criminal damage and criminal trespass. Your next court date on this matter is going to be March the 11th at 8:30 in the morning in the Sahuarita Municipal Court. Do you understand that you need to be present at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to return to the school that was alleged to be involved in this matter on the 14th. You're not to possess any paint, markers, etching tools, or anything else that could be used to mark on walls or your property. Understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Thank you, Mr. Eames.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Jennifer Flakowski.
A number of things here for you. We'll start with charges from December 7th of 2023 for shoplifting and possession of paraphernalia. This was under the jurisdiction of Moreno Municipal Court. They also have failures to appear on May the 8th of 2024, July 17th of 2024, and November 20th of 2024. We'll appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you on those charges. Bond will be $250. Your next court date will be on Thursday at noon. You're not to return to the incident location. You're not to possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. And if you're out of custody, you need to begin substance abuse assessment and recommended treatment. Do you understand that?
Say it again.
I could read
Yes.
it. Then I have files out of Tucson City Court. They have current charges for criminal trespass and possession of paraphernalia. I also have additional charges from February the 11th of this year for possession of paraphernalia. Charges for criminal trespass and possession of paraphernalia, August 16th of 2023, failing to appear on September 15th of 2023. And as recently as November 14th, after you were released in October. and charges for possession of paraphernalia on November 15th of 2023, along with the
Good.
your next court date on these is February the 27th at 1:45. Bond will also be $250 on these. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't return to the incident locations. Substance abuse assessment and treatment. Thank you, Ms. Falkowski.
Martinez.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Camille Martinez.
Ms. Martinez. First, thank you. I have charges from June 16th, 2023 for shoplifting and possession of paraphernalia. This was alleged occurred under the jurisdiction of Moreno Municipal Court. They also noted that you failed to appear on July 12th of 2023. I've also got failures to appear out of Tucson City Court, as well as new charges. How can we be sure that you show up in court and don't violate any?
I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of the other court dates through Tucson City.
I gave you one of those court dates myself.
Okay.
Better than a year ago.
Okay.
But you also haven't shown up in Moreno. What can we do about that?
I remember showing up initially, and they offered me a plea bargain. I don't believe I showed up to the next court date.
And I'm asking you, how can we be sure you show up in court next time?
Because I don't want to be here. I promise I'll show up.
No more drugs, no more paraphernalia. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to give you another chance on these. Moreno court date is going to be March the 19th at 10 o'clock in the morning. You're not to go to that incident location. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You need to get substance abuse assessment and begin the recommended treatments. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And out of Tucson City Court, have charges from today for possession of paraphernalia and criminal trespass. And then I have charges that go back to May 29th of 2023 for possession of paraphernalia. And then failing to appear on June the 12th of 2023. You were back in custody on June the 16th of 2023. They released you. You didn't show up in court on the court date they gave you. I then saw you in custody on December the 1st of 2023. Gave you a court date of January 2nd of 2024. Didn't show up that date. I also told you to get a substance abuse assessment and treatment. I understand you need to follow through with court orders.
Yes, I do.
I'll give you another chance and release you on these.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
But you need to show up in court this time.
And well,
Tucson City Court is March the 24th at 2:30 in the afternoon.
okay.
I'm sure you make it to court this time.
Very well.
Okay, thank you. All right. Good evening. I'm Judge Sayed. You are
Julian Mendoza.
Ms. Mendoza. I've got a warrant here out of Moreno. Charges for shoplifting and possession of paraphernalia from October the 12th of 2022. Failing to appear on November the 9th of 2022. Warrant was issued on November 7th of 2024, which tells me that you may well have had a court date around then, at which you did not appear. I'm going to release you on these charges with a court date of March the 19th at 10 o'clock in the morning. You may well still be in custody at that time, and you should notify Moreno if you are, because you do have a felony warrant that I will not be seeing you on this evening. And again, if you're out of custody, substance abuse assessment and treatment. You understand that? All right. Thank you, Ms. Mendoza.
So,
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Morales.
Mr. Morales. I have a warrant here out of Pima County Justice Court for shoplifting and failing to appear. We'll appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you on this charge. Hold you on a $50 bond. You're not to return to the incident location. Your next court date will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And I have charges out of Tucson City Court. The charges from today are criminal trespass, possession of paraphernalia, possession of prescription-only drugs without a valid prescription. I also have charges for criminal trespass from September the 6th of 2024, failing to appear on September the 19th of 2024. Charges for shoplifting and obstruction from July 29th of 2023. Looks like you did not appear in court on that matter. Charges for possession of paraphernalia on June 23rd of 2022. (801 West Miracle Mile). And again, a number of dates when you were supposed to appear in court and did not appear. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Bond will be $250. Bond on these would be $250. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You know, back to 3175 North First, 3325 North First, 4215 North Oracle. If out of custody, you need to obtain a substance abuse assessment and begin any recommended treatment. Do you understand that? Do you understand that, sir? Right? And I'd suggest you not discuss these matters with anyone except your attorney. Thank you, Mr. Morales.
Yes.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
This serious?
Mr. Reese. I have a warrant here out of Moreno,
Yeah.
charging you with shoplifting,
Yes.
On June 20th of 2021, along with at least 4 failures to appear.
Yeah, I was in and out like okay.
All right, bond on this will remain at Judge McDonald's bond of $350. The court date will be tomorrow at noon. Janet Altfuller is appointed to represent you. You're not to return to the incident location.
Your Honor, was Ruby's excuse?
No. I also have charges out of Tucson City Court for today for possession of paraphernalia. Your next court date on this is going to be April the 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning. City Public Defenders will represent you at least as long as you're in custody. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand that? If you're out of custody, substance abuse assessment and treatment. Thank you, Mr. Reese. Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are?
Nothing but Bubba.
Oh.
And I have a warrant out of Cochise County for possession of paraphernalia. Looks like these charges go back to sometime in before May of 2023, because that's when the warrant issued. Bond on this will be reduced to $250. They will have 24 hours after you're released on other charges to make arrangements to pick you up, a total of 72 hours to come pick you up. If they don't pick you up, or you post the bond, you need to be in Bisbee Justice Court on March the 4th at 8:30 in the morning. No alcohol and illegal drugs. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And I have a fistful of files here for you out of Tucson City Court. Charges for trespass, possession of paraphernalia, possession of prescription-only drugs without a prescription. These are alleged to have occurred today. Charges for criminal trespass, possession of prescription paraphernalia on November 15th of 2024, failing to appear on December the 16th of 2024.
All right, guys. Hey, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. I won't be on this one, but I have enough juice on my device to do another 10 o'clock one. I'll go ahead and do it. If not, then my apologies, but for sure, I'll be back on tomorrow. This is Collect Call James. You are watching. You have a Collect Call From, and with that, I'm out. Enjoy watching.
Great fire. Good evening, you may be seated. This is the time set for the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar for February 18th of 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 1st of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar. I'm going to call you each up one by one to come to the podium, where I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth. I will then advise you as to why you are here, whether or not an attorney has been appointed for you, where your upcoming court dates will be, what your bond is if you are eligible for bond, and what your release conditions are. Some of you may have questions as I'm advising you of these things. I would just ask that you would hold your questions until after I finish the advisement. At this time, I will call Alexandria St. Clair to the podium and Nicholas Rosa, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth? Alexandria St. Clair, 2803. Thank you. You are here on two matters. You have a direct complaint that was filed, and then you do have a warrant out of San Marcos Justice Court. I'm going to talk to you first about the direct complaint. You were charged with one count of assault by a prisoner with bodily fluids, a Class 6 felony, alleged to have occurred on May 20th of 2024. We did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. I do understand that you are in DOC custody. You were brought here by order of the court that indicated that you will remain in our custody until this matter is resolved, and then you would return to DOC custody, so you would not be eligible for bond today. Then as to the Justice Court, San Marcos Justice Court, you did have a warrant out of that court. You do have an arraignment hearing on February 21st at 10 a.m. I did just give you a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. It's just a placeholder to ensure that you get transported for that hearing, and then you'll be brought back here. So that takes care of everything that we have to. What's wrong?
Sorry, so it looks like we just sent over another Justice Court warrant from Country.
Okay, has it been attached? Is it attached now?
No, they just sent it over and
Okay.
Is there an issue, Your Honor?
Yes, another warrant has come in regarding you, so I'm just waiting for them to provide it to me so I can advise you about that one as well.
I understand, Your Honor.
Can Claire just go back in holding and call it back when we're ready? Should I have her go received information that you're also here for a warrant out of Country Meadows Justice Court, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You do have an arraignment hearing on February 20th at 8:30. I did give you another placeholder bond for that one as well, just to make sure that you are transported for those hearings as well. So I believe that takes care of everything that we have to do regarding all your matters today. I think if you just go back into holding, because I had to do an additional order, they're going to bring everything in there to you when it's all ready.
Okay, Your Honor. May I have a word real quick?
Is it about your release conditions?
No, it's about my cases. So two of them, or for all three of them actually, Elias Dominicos will be taking over, and we will be filing an initial appearance. Sorry, can't think right now. You surprised me with the warrants. We will be filing an appearance.
Are you hiring an attorney who's going to file a notice of appearance for you?
It will be the same attorney that's been handling all my cases.
Okay. And as far as the prisoner assault with bodily fluids,
Don't talk about your case right now.
can I just, since this is the initial appearance, can I just go ahead
Can I
and,
just tell you one thing first? This is why I don't want you to talk about it. Your attorney's not here, and this is a recorded hearing, so anything that you say here.
can and will be used
Yes,
against me in
and
court
so
of
I
law?
always recommend to not, like, whatever it is that you want to say, or
Yes.
have your attorney say in your
But we've
defense.
already discussed this with my attorney.
So I'm just letting you know, I don't think that that's in your best interest to do that.
It is. I guarantee you it is, Your Honor, with no disrespect. I would like to plead guilty to all
We
charges.
can't do that here.
Why not?
This is not, you would have to have an attorney present with you, and there's a whole lot of other things that go along with that, and this is not that kind of setting to do that. So if you would like to do that, you can do that as your next court date, which is on February 24th, which is next Monday.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure.
Have a good one.
Mr. Rosa, will you please come into the courtroom, and Ms. O'Leary, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Sir, will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Nicholas Rosa, 10291.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with one count of burglary in the third degree, a class 4 felony. I did find probable causes to that offense. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. Because you were on felony release at the time that this alleged offense occurred, you are not eligible for bond today. I did schedule an evidentiary hearing for you for February 25th at 1:30 to address the issue of bond. That takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. If you will please step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Ms. O'Leary, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Messias, if you will please have a seat in the chair. So, ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Alexandra O'Leary, birthday 4/24/1986.
You are here today because the direct complaint was filed where you were charged with one count of aggravated assault, a class 5 felony, alleged to have occurred on March 26th of 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. I do understand that you are in DOC custody. An order was issued bringing you here for this matter, and that you are to remain in our custody until this matter is resolved, and then you'll be returned to DOC custody. So that takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Alfredo Macias, 77004.
You are here today because you have a violation of probation. I have to correct this one. Karina, I have to fix this order. Okay. No, I don't. Never mind. I don't, but now I have to reprint it because I thought I had to. All right. You are here today for a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on February 25th at 8:30. A writ was ordered bringing you here out of FCI Phoenix, which indicates that you will remain in our custody until this matter is resolved, and then you will return to FCI, so you're not eligible for bond today. That takes care of everything that we have to do here this evening. If you will please step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Monty, if you will please come into the courtroom. And Mr. Rodriguez, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Nicholas Monti, 92282.
Thank you. You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony. 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony. 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. 1 count of possession of a weapon used in a drug offense, a Class 4 felony. 1 count of theft or control of stolen property, a Class 6 felony. And 1 count of carrying a deadly weapon and failure to admit, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot possess any weapons. You must appear for your court dates. If you fail to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest and you'd be subject to more bond. That takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. So if you will be stuck to your left.
Does that mean if I come up to $1,000, I can get
It's secured appearance, so it's 10% plus collateral.
10% plus collateral. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Elliott, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yeah, Manuel Rodriguez on 9/11/78.
Sir, you were here today because a warrant was issued when you failed to appear for a court date. An attorney was already appointed to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear and you bond posted will be forfeited, another warrant would be issued for your arrest and you would be subject to bond again. This takes care of everything that we can do this evening. If you will please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Elliott, will you please come into the courtroom? And Miss Olivia, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Gray Elliott, January 12, 2004.
You are here today because you have 3 violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in all 3 matters. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on February 25th at 8:30. Each violation had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500, so your total secured appearance bond is $1,500. If you are able to post bond, please make sure that you attend your court date. If you fail to do so, any bond posted will be forfeited. A warrant will be issued for your arrest and you'll be subject to more bond. That takes care of everything that we have to do here this evening. If you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Am I going to jail?
Pardon me?
Is that me going to jail? Or?
You have a bond, so if you're not able to post bond, then you will remain in custody.
Okay.
Ms. Olivia, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Gutierrez, will you please have a seat in the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can you please state your first and last name?
Sylvia Maria Oliva, 12/16/82.
Thank you. You are here because you have a warrant from this court for failing to appear for a hearing, and then you have an out-of-county warrant for Pioneer Justice Court. As to your warrant here for failing to appear, you do have an attorney that's appointed to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. Hold on a second. I don't think this is right. No. This is not a warrant for failing to appear. It's actually a direct complaint was filed, and you were charged with 1 count of possession or use of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The date of those offenses alleged offenses is April 9th of 2020. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing for February 27th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. It is essentially a placeholder bond due to the out-of-county warrant that you have out of Pioneer Justice Court. I did appoint you an attorney to represent you in that matter.
You have an arraignment hearing on February 21st at 8:30. That warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $256.
Okay.
So if you're able to postpone in these matters, it is important that you do appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear, any bond posted would be forfeited, the warrant would be issued for your arrest, and you'd be subject to more bond.
Okay.
Okay? So that takes care of everything that we can do here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gutierrez, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Street, will you please have a seat in the chair? Sir?
October 28 meeting.
Thank you. You were here today because a warrant was issued when you failed to appear for a court date. An attorney was already appointed to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you're able to postpone, it is important that you attend your court dates. If you fail to attend your court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited. Another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and you'd be subject to more bond. So that takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Street, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Welch, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Anthony Chorley Street, 21397.
You were here today because a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with 1 count of possession or use of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession, 1 count. Let me start over. One count of possession or use of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession or use of a narcotic drug, a class 4 felony. The date of those alleged offenses is April 3rd, 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a you do have a court date status conference on March 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 7th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pre-trial services. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
Please be advised that if you do not comply with your release conditions or you fail to appear for your court dates, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that takes care of everything that we need to do here this evening. If you step to your left, thank you. Mr. Welch, if you'll please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Connolly, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Arlen Welch, 1/13/1975.
Thank you. You were here because a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. The date of the alleged offenses is July 5th, 2023. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on March 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 7th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have another direct complaint where you were charged with possession of dangerous drugs for sale, a class 2 felony alleged to have occurred on June 28th of 2023. Again, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have a status conference hearing on March 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 7th at 8:30. And again, I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but I promise that you will appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear? Please be advised that if you fail to appear for your court date, the warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand? Okay, if you please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Connolly, will you please come into the courtroom? And Ms. McDowell, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jeffrey Conley, 12/26/1963.
Thank you. You are here on one count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony. I did find probable cause to that offense. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on March 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 7th at 8:30. I am going to release you on your own recognizance today, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
Are you sure? You look like you have to think about it.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
When they picked me up today,
Don't talk about your case. I thought you were going to talk to me about your release condition.
well, I was already caught.
Well, the date of your offense was back on December 9th of 2024. This is what you were charged for. Whatever contact you had with law enforcement then.
Then they arrested me today,
Correct.
and I had drugs on me.
Well, I'm just talking about what you were charged for, which you are here for today, is for the date of the offense is December 9th, 2024.
I don't drive or nothing, so I mean, I don't even know no one here hardly. I'm homeless, and I don't have a.
So based on what you're saying is that you're not sure that you're going to appear, so I might have to impose a bond then and not release you today?
Well, I don't understand why the other charge isn't on there. That's because I'm going to have another court date. That's all. I just would rather have it all run together. I mean, I'm not trying to confuse
No, I understand that that's on the police, on the Form 4 statement that I reviewed. They only charged you with one thing, and that was from the contact that you had with law enforcement on December 9th, and I believe that was because at the time, from the information that I reviewed, that on whatever happened on December 9th, the results from that encounter were not made available until January 27th.
Okay. Well, I'll take the release, and I'll be here, but I hope. I just don't drive. That's all. I got to figure something out. How soon's the court date?
Your court date is going to be March 5th is the first one, and then the second date is March 7th.
I should be able to make it.
And all that information will be on the paperwork that the officer is going to give you, okay? Sure.
Thank you.
All right, so that takes care of everything we need to do. Ms. McDowell, if you'll please come into the courtroom. And can you please state your first last name and your date of birth?
My first name is Lori Lee. My last name is McDowell. My date of birth is 2/19/77.
You are here today because you have a warrant out of West Mesa Justice Court. Due to the nature of the charge, you are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney. We do have an arraignment hearing on March 4th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance today, but you do have to promise that you will appear for your court date.
I will appear. What was the date again? I'm sorry.
March 4th at 8:30.
8:30?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I promise.
Your paperwork will have the date on it.
Okay.
If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed the next time, okay?
The warrant was for non-payment, correct?
It just says, yep, it's for failure to pay or to comply with court orders.
Yes, I started paying and I couldn't continue.
Well, you just need to make sure that you just go to your court dates and just tell them what's going on.
I will.
Okay? All right, so that takes care of everything that we need to do here.
Being released on personal recognizance, does that mean I will go into there and they will just let me go?
Whenever they start releasing people this evening, you should be released.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
We're setting aside a previous conviction.
Is the interpreter able to hear the court?
Is the interpreter speaking, ma'am? Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. At this time, I am calling Mr. Escobar to please come into the courtroom.
Estoy llamando al señor Escobar para que ingrese al tribunal.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Señor, ¿puede declarar su nombre, apellido y su fecha de nacimiento?
Lázaro Escobar, 09/11/1985.
Lázaro Escobar, 09/11/1985.
Sir, you were here today because you have 4 violations of probation.
Señor, está usted aquí el día de hoy porque tiene 4 violaciones a su libertad condicional.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you in all 4 matters.
Asigné a un abogado que le represente en estos casos.
You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on February 25th at 8:30.
Usted va a tener lo que es una notificación de libertad condicional a disposición, sería el 25 de febrero a las 8:30.
On 3 of your violations of probation, you do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750.
En 3 de sus 4 violaciones sí tendrá lo que es una fianza garantizada de $750.
I will caution you against attempting to post bond at this time.
Voy a prevenir de que usted intente pagarlo una 5ª vez.
Because in your 4th violation of probation matter, you are not eligible for bond.
Ya que en su 4ª violación de libertad condicional ya no es elegible o ya no es apto para una fianza.
If after your hearing on February 25th, the court determines that you are eligible for bond,
hasta su audiencia el 25 de febrero, el tribunal podrá determinar si usted es elegible para la fianza.
you must appear for all of your court dates.
Debe de aparecer a todas sus fechas para el tribunal.
If you fail to do so, a warrant would be issued for your arrest.
Si usted no hace una orden de arresto, será expedida para usted.
And any bond posted would be forfeited.
Y cualquier fianza que haya pagado será renunciada.
And additional bond could be ordered.
Así como una fianza adicional será ordenada.
That takes care of everything that we can do here this evening.
Eso se encargaría de todo lo que podríamos hacer por usted ahorita, esta tarde.
If you please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Si da un paso a su izquierda, el oficial le va a pasar sus papeles.
¿No puedo contarle algo?
Can I ask something?
If it's only as it relates to your release conditions, I would not have any other information regarding your cases.
Si se relaciona con sus condiciones de libertad, de otra manera no tengo alguna otra información de sus casos.
Eso es si tengo una fianza ahorita de $750.
So I have a bond right now for $750.
Regarding 3 of the cases.
Esto es para 3 de los 4 casos.
As to the 4th case, he is not eligible for bond due to the nature of the violation of probation.
Así para el 4º caso, usted no es elegible para la fianza debido a la naturaleza de la violación.
So if he attempted to post bond, he still would not be released.
Así que si aún así usted intenta pagar la fianza, no se le dejará ya en libertad.
Pero es que violar el provecho 3 veces, no 4 veces. No entiendo por qué 4 veces.
What do you mean 4 times? I don't understand a 4th violation.
La primera vez tuve 3 meses aquí detenido, la segunda vez me dieron una fianza hace 15, 20 días.
Just one question at a time. You have 4 separate cases. You have a probation case regarding shoplifting. You have a probation case regarding domestic violence.
Una pregunta a la vez. Usted tiene 4 casos separados. tiene una libertad condicional por un cargo de robo, tiene una libertad condicional por un cargo de violencia doméstica.
Sí.
You have a probation case regarding aggravated DUI.
Tiene también un tercer caso por lo que es manejar bajo los efectos de alcohol o drogas, agraviado.
And you have a probation case regarding resisting arrest with physical force.
Y también tiene una libertad condicional por resistirse al arresto usando fuerza física.
Sí.
So that takes care of everything that we have to do.
Entonces, eso ya sería todo lo que tendríamos que hacer. Very well.
Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. I believe that we do not have anybody else that requires your services. You may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you very much for using our services. Have a very short day. Bye-bye.
We need to clear the courtroom. Are we taking people out? I gave... Sir, can you state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Trevin Nguyen, 03/17/2002.
You are here as a fugitive of justice. You have a warrant out of California. You do have a right to have an extradition hearing. You would be entitled to bond. You can hire an attorney at your own expense. An extradition requires a warrant to be signed by both the governor of Arizona and the governor of California. This can take up between 60 to 90 days. Or you can waive your extradition hearing. If you choose to do so, you would not be eligible for bond. The issuing state would have up to 30 days to pick you up, but that's only if you don't have any local charges pending. If you have any local charges pending, the 30 days would not start until after those matters were completed. Did you have an opportunity to review the paperwork regarding the extradition process and what your rights are?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how you would like to proceed today?
Oh, yeah.
If you do not know how you would like to proceed, I am inclined to note that you do not want to waive your rights, that you would have extradition hearing. You would have a fugitive from justice hearing, an initial hearing on March 3rd at 1:30. You do, according to your the warrant, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100,000. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes, ma'am.
So then that's how we will be proceeding. So you do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100,000. If you are able to post bond, you must stay in the state of Arizona. You must appear for your hearing on March 3rd at 1:30. That takes care of everything that we have to do here today. If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Zeiss, if you will please come into the courtroom. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not indicated online. So, okay, so Mr. Richard Zeiss, date of birth, March 18th, 1983. He is not participating today due to concerns of self-harm. Is that still the case? There's a concern of self-harm? Yes. He has been charged with 6 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, a Class 2 felony. I did find probable cause as to all 6 counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent him. I have to change this order. sorry, I made the correction. I did appoint an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference hearing on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 27th at 8:30. He has a cash-only bond in the amount to $250,000. If he's able to post bond, he'll be released to pretrial services with electronic monitoring. He will not be able to have any contact with the victims, any minors. He cannot access the internet through any electronic means. He cannot possess any weapons. If he fails to comply with his release conditions or appear for his court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited. I will meet with Mr. Zeiss. If any additions or corrections are needed, I will do so either on the record or in writing. Okay, Ms. Saganai, what is the reason for her not being able to appear? Safe spell, you said? Yeah. Melissa Saganai, date of birth September 24th, 1983. She's not able to participate in person due to concerns of self-harm. She's here on a new case. She was charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent her. She will have a status conference hearing on March 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 7th at 8:30. She will be released to pretrial services. She will be advised that if she fails to comply with her release conditions or appear for her court dates, a warrant will be issued for her arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. I will meet with her if any changes are needed. I will do so either in writing or on the record. This concludes the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar. We stand in recess until 11 p.m.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. The next stream will be in about 2 hours and 13 minutes. That'll be 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is my time. You are watching You Have a Collect Call From. I am James. And like I said, around here, lights like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we are out. A rato.